The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Nobody's listening, no. Nobody's listening, no. Nobody wants to hear them speak. Nobody's listening, no. Nobody's listening. Nobody wants to hear them speak. Nobody wants to hear them speak. Nobody wants to hear them speak.
Thank you for downloading, streaming, or however it is that you listen to the Not Listening Podcast.
I'm listening to it through a banana.
How? Really?
Yeah.
So, however you listen to it through a banana?
Yeah.
Subconsciously through a banana.
No, I just got a banana in front of the speaker.
Oh, you just put a speaker. Sound control through fruit.
It sounds better through a banana than it does through strawberries.
I kind of feel like I want to test that theory out.
Go for it.
So, Will's not here. His reasoning is what? Couldn't be asked. Just
Yeah, he's stuck on a train.
stuck on a train. It's going
No,
really fast.
backwards.
It's like Unstoppable with Denzel Washington and Chris Pine or someone, I think it is. I don't know. I can't remember. It's a good film. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. Yeah, so I'm Adam. You're.
Ash.
We've done that bit. Have we done that bit yet?
No?
No, we haven't done it.
No.
Yeah. So let's do it again. I'm Adam. You're.
Ash.
This is make sure just in case.
I'm Ash.
Yeah, Will's not here. We're going to
I'm Ash.
do another podcast. But you're going to see Will this weekend. You're going to some kind of like foresty place and do camping, aren't you?
Yeah, we're going camping.
Yeah, see, I can't be bothered with camping.
Oh, it's great fun.
I like.
In the natural world, you can see
In
the
the natural
stars.
I can see that in my.
satellites.
I can see that in my fucking garden. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but there's no light pollution.
Hmm.
So you see the Milky Way, you see absolutely everything. And
I've got Google. I've got Google Images. I can look and see what the Milky Way looks like on Google Images. Thank you very much. Probably get a better picture from the NASA Hubble telescope or something.
the NASA Hub.
Hey, I don't know what it's called, but I'll Google it later.
Hubble.
the Hubble, whatever. Is that what it's called?
Hubble telescope.
The Hubble telescope. Yeah, I can see pictures from that on Google. I don't need to go to some field, some dirty, stinking field, and look up at the stars. That's like a start of a Coldplay song. Look how they shine for you.
They always shine for me.
Yeah. So yeah, you're going to go and get drunk with him. That's the only reason you're going, isn't it? I mean, you make it out like the people right now. They're like, "Oh, we're going camping. You're going to wild camping. Yeah, we're going to get pissed in the field." That's what you're going to go and do, isn't you?
That might be part of
It's
it.
like you're going to a festival without any acts or people. it's literally go and sit in a field and get drunk.
Why would you want to go to a field and sit in it with thousands and thousands of people when you can go and sit in it with some very, very good friends and have a laugh?
Get drunk. You're going to get hammered.
And not have to worry about where your wallet is or your car keys and all that kind
That's
of
true.
stuff.
And don't be falling into any fire pits, Ash, or anything stupid like that.
I'll try not to.
Because I know what you're like.
There will be a fire going.
If you listen back about 2 years ago, there was probably an episode where you fell into a fire pit.
Yeah, 2
Not-
years
not-
ago, I still got the scar.
Not during the episode. I've got to make that clear. People were thinking, "What? There's an episode where you fell into a fire pit during the episode?" Now that would have been a viral hit. I think that would have been like millions of downloads. Yeah, you want to hear this podcast where a guy actually falls into fire, and they don't stop recording; they just keep talking.
Yeah, I wish I'd had some video cameras out in the back garden. I could have watched it and seen actually what I did do.
So you don't remember because you were drunk, weren't you?
I was pissed as a fuck.
Did you wake up like in it, or did you? Oh, no, you didn't.
No, I rolled through it.
But let's tell the story, because there's a lot of people that are going to be like, well, hang on, like, we don't understand. Like, we know the story, but what happened a couple of years ago?
It was Father's Day a couple of years ago,
Right.
and had a whole load of people over.
But you're not a father. How does that make
I'm not
you
a
cannot
father.
have Father's Day parties when you're not a father.
That I know of.
Yeah, that's true.
We dug a big pit in my back garden,
Yeah.
and we bought a sheep. and we decided to spit roast a whole sheep.
The sheep was already dead and gutted.
It was already dead and gutted and stuff.
You bought it from a butcher. You didn't buy it from a
butcher. No, we
you
bought
gotta
it from a butcher.
We need to make these things clear when you tell a story sometimes, because there's a lot of people that go, "What are you buying a sheep for? We just throw it on a fire." I don't want to listen to this sort of podcast. These are horrible people.
We bought a whole butchered sheep.
Yeah.
It was still in one piece.
To eat as
To
well.
eat.
Got to make that clear as
Yep.
well. I don't know why I need to. I just feel like I need to. There's a lot of people
We
out there.
put a spit right through it and built a little spit over this pit that we dug in.
Don't
my
sound so
backyard.
happy you did that. There's a lot of vegetarians listening right now that think, like, oh, we get you eat meat. We get it. We get that you're the Antichrist and you eat meat. But you don't need to be so excited about spit roasting things.
Yeah. So we cooked it throughout the day.
Yep.
It took about 6 hours to cook it,
Mm.
which was quite a long time. And the whole time we were drinking and messing about. And
Getting drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what happens
very
when you drink alcohol during the day.
Yeah.
All day drinking.
So it was still hot because we'd used some hard wood and stuff so that we got the temperature up. So it was really quite hot. We'd drunk all kinds of weird and wonderful concoctions as well as beer. And everyone went home. And I decided, they'd offered to tidy up. And I said, no, I'll do it in the morning.
Just being polite here, really. Isn't it?
And I wandered back in. And I thought, I'll tidy up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I tidied
Move
up.
some chairs usually. That's what whenever I'm drunk after a pint, I just move chairs. Not necessarily where they need to be, but I feel better.
Yeah, I had a wanderlight in the hedge, this lamp on a big extension lead, and I'd hung it in the hedge next to the fire pit so that we could actually see the lamb cooking, because it got dark at this point because it took us so long to cook the bloody thing. So I decided,
and this is during like June, where it gets dark at like 10 o'clock. So.
Yeah. So people had left at about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I decided, instead of just unplugging it and leaving it in the hedge because it wasn't going to rain, I thought, I better take that in. So I leant around the pit to pull it out of the hedge that it was right next to, and lost my balance.
Yeah.
And fell in.
Fell into the pit.
So I actually rolled through it, and it was I was very, very lucky. It was only really my elbow that went into the fire pit.
Yeah.
I stood up on the other side of it and went, oh,
Ouch.
shit.
Ouch.
Looked at my arm, and there were still some red hot lumps of wood stuck to my arm. So I brushed them off.
You're like John McClane.
and then went, fuck, that hurts.
Yeah.
So I stripped to my boxers.
In the garden.
We had the hose out anyway because I'd been hosing down the hedge to make sure the hedge didn't set light while we were cooking because it was that hot, and the fence.
And dry. It was dry. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very dry. So I hosed myself down.
Yeah.
I've got an aloe vera plant in the kitchen, which I absolutely decimated, and stood in the garden rubbing fresh aloe vera straight onto it.
Yeah.
I stood there for a bit, still shaking and probably in a little bit of shock. I went, oh, fuck it. I'm going to bed. So I went to bed.
Yeah.
And I woke up the next morning feeling a little bit sorry for myself with a bit of a sore arm.
Yeah.
So I rubbed some more aloe vera on it in the morning, had a shower, and tried to pick out all the
But a
little
shower
bits
hurt, though, didn't it?
of wood.
Bit of hot
I've
water
got
on
a
it.
stupid pain threshold. That's my problem.
Yeah.
A
A stupid pain threshold, yeah.
A stupidly high pain threshold. It's actually dangerous.
I kind of want to test that theory out.
Well, I walked on a completely shattered ankle for 3.5 weeks as well.
Is that when?
That's when I jumped off the garage
I was
roof.
going to say
When I was drunk. Shattered my ankle, went to bed, went to the hospital the next day. They x-rayed it and went, nah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
This is going off on a tangent. And I then had an MRI scan 3 weeks later, and the consultant actually stared at me as I walked back into his room. I don't understand how you're walking.
Yeah.
So 2 days later, I was having an operation to actually remove all the broken, shattered pieces of bone out of my ankle.
You're like Wolverine.
Yeah.
You just don't rebuild yourself.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But going back to the Bernie story, on the
Who's
next
Bernie?
when
Bernie.
I burnt myself story, the next day I do Aikido.
Yeah.
And I turned up at Aikido in the evening of the next day and went, sorry, I'm not going to be training tonight. I've sort of slightly burnt my arm. And showed
Just
them.
nonchalantly, like, yeah. So.
And showed them. I'd driven to
Yeah.
Aikido and I was just, I'll just sit here and watch. And they looked at my arm and there were some proper black patches.
Yeah.
And they weren't cold.
Oh.
And it was, dude, you need to go to the hospital. And it's just, I hate hospital.
Yeah, I don't want to go.
So I drove off to the hospital.
Yeah. No one went with you?
No.
Fucking great friends they are.
No, I told him to carry on training. He just said, no, I'll be 5
I'll be
minutes down at the
fine.
hospital.
I'll be back in 10 minutes.
So I turn up at the hospital and show the person at A&E my arm, and she was shit. And literally, I was seen within about 5 minutes.
So you were like a priority.
Yeah, and it was just oh,
When
this is good.
Did this happen, like, literally just happen? That happened yesterday.
Yeah, and when I was speaking to I got sent to the burns unit. The burns unit in Chelmsford is absolutely amazing. It's one of the best in Europe.
Yeah, keep your hands off it, Tories.
So I was very, very lucky that
Yeah.
I live in Chelmsford. And I went straight up to the burns unit, and it was just that must really hurt. No, not really. And these bits, I'm prodding the black bits and really jabbing them, and they don't hurt at all. It's quite good. And they go, there's a reason they don't hurt. That's not good.
Yeah.
It means you've killed all the nerves.
Yeah.
And they straight away start talking about skin grafts
Yeah.
and all kinds of stuff. And I'm then thinking,
Arm transplants.
oh fuck, this is a bit bad. So they dress it and they say, come back tomorrow, because I didn't realise burns actually take 48 hours
Oh, right.
to actually stop
So
burning.
it was still going.
So
at
it was
your
still
arm.
burning.
Ah.
And it just, I'm just walking about. It's just,
I feel hot just hearing the story.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm burning right now.
But yeah, no, it's and they at the end they were absolutely amazed at how it healed. They were,
You are Wolverine, that's what.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
very slow regeneration.
no skin grass, no nothing. All it's done is actually removed the freckles from a big section of my elbow.
So whereas Wolverine would have, like, regenerated within minutes,
He would have regenerated the freckles.
you're just like a sci-fi channel Wolverine. It takes about 3 years to regenerate.
Yeah.
I'll be all right.
But I have fairly hairy arms. But all the hair grew back and stuff, and even in the bits
You had to put loads of suntan lotion over it, didn't you? You couldn't get it in the
I
sun.
couldn't get it in the sun for 2 years.
Yeah.
I only left it a year.
Yeah.
So I'd cover it up for every time I went away somewhere sunny, and even in this country.
The sun's still the fucking sun. It's not
covered it up.
This is what I think crazy. The people sit there and go like, "Oh, I'll go out to like Tenerife, and then I put all my suntan lotion on, a precaution
Why
because
don't you do it
the
at
sun's hot here." I'm like, it's the same sun we have in this country, and we can hit the same level of heat. Not every fucking day, but we can have like a heat wave where we have 2 weeks of like hot sun, and you're like, I don't need no suntan lotion. I'm working. I ain't got time to burn. That's what people say.
Oh no! So the amount of times I've burnt in England, actually, it was a couple of weeks ago. Sunburn. Jesus. Yeah, I was just doing some gardening.
I've been burnt.
Completely burnt
England,
my
yeah.
back.
I mean, so people do believe that you can't get burnt in your own country because they're like, I ain't got time to burn. I'm working. If you it doesn't make a difference. It's the same fucking sun.
Yeah.
It's just different location where you are. The sun's looking at you.
It goes with a little bit more atmosphere to get to the UK, but
Exactly, yeah.
it still doesn't stop it
But
from
you can still
burning
burn.
you.
So this,
But
nice.
fire burns worse.
Yeah, it does. Fire, yeah. Real fire and sun fire, they're different. That's a fact.
Yeah, real fire in your garden isn't quite as hot as the sun.
No, but it's still hot enough to burn the fuck out of you.
Yeah, and the sun can do it from billions of miles away.
Yeah, years away. Like, I've got burnt by the sun in the past by the time it hit me. How long does it take for the sun to reach us? Like 8 minutes or something, isn't
8
it?
minutes.
Yeah. So that 8 minutes hit me.
Not years.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 8 minutes for the sun to hit me from what it is. That's the past. That's 10
Yeah.
minutes. It's the past. Everything's the past.
Historical light.
So, talking about things that people think are true that aren't true,
Yep.
I've got a list of things.
Burning is true.
Things that you always believed that simply just aren't that true. Right? The Great Wall of China
Mm-hmm.
is not the only man-made object you can see from space. Because everyone said, like,
The Great Wall of China is fucking difficult to see from space.
But everyone said
it's like it would look like a hair across the edge of China.
Yeah, but they always used to say, didn't they? Oh, the Great Wall of China, you can see it from space. And then make it out as it's the only thing you can ever see from space. Like, well, what the fuck can I see from space? It's like, oh, nothing, just this big wall.
The dome.
Yeah.
You must be able to see the dome. It's a big white blob next to London.
It says you can actually see loads of man-made objects from space.
Taj Mahal.
They go, in fact, the Great Wall of China is actually not very, very easily visible from space. Because
It
it
would look
makes
like
sense.
a hair.
Yeah. Well, it was like you said, the dome, the O2 Arena, like the Millennium Dome O2 Arena in London, you can see it's a big white blob.
Yeah, it's a nice perfect circle.
Another one is it's not actually harmful to pick up baby birds and return them to their nests. It will not cause the mothers to reject them. Now, do people think that, like, if you picked up a baby bird, that baby bird would then imprint on you and think that you're the mother?
No, I think people think it's the scent thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it says birds don't really have a powerful scent of
No,
smell.
they've got a solid nose.
They
called a beak.
They said they probably wouldn't be able to tell if a human handled their baby. So people wouldn't even be able to tell. So if you put a baby back in there, they wouldn't be like, "Fucking, you've been out with those humans again." They wouldn't be like that. They'd just be like, "Oh, you're back. You fell out of the nest yesterday."
Yeah,
I
thought you'd gone.
I thought
You
you'd
buggered
gone.
off.
How did you get back up
Cheeky
here?
sod.
Oh, it's the hand of God.
I just thought one less mouth to feed. Woohoo! Don't need to go fish.
Here's one. See if you get it. What colour is blood?
What colour is blood?
Yes.
It's blood colour.
What colour is it?
It's the obvious answer is red, which no one's going to say, but it's a shade of red, so it's not quite magenta. No,
Yeah.
not magenta.
Would you ever say?
Burgundy.
Would you ever say it's blue?
Only when you're cold.
Because a lot of people
It's
say
not
like
oxygenated.
they people always say like human blood is never blue in the body because they always say like in the veins it's blue. So if you look at people's veins, like they're blue and green and that, and they.
Yeah.
So people then come up with the assumption that, well, technically, when blood's in your body, it's actually blue. It's when it hits the air, it becomes red. And they're like, well, not
What?
really. They're like, deoxygenated blood is dark red.
Yeah.
And oxygenated blood is light red.
And the dark red stuff goes close to the surface, and it's coming through the skin, and that changes what it looks like as a colour. because
Blood,
it's coming through the
blood
skin.
only appears blue because skin and fat make it look that way.
Yeah.
So you fat people out there, you got blue blood. Apparently so.
But if I stab you, you're going to bleed red.
Oh, look at you getting all stabby. There are not different areas of the tongue dedicated to different tastes. Every taste can be detected on every part of the tongue. See, I know that. A lot of people think that, like, oh, if you put like a bit of thing here, you can taste sour here and bitter here. No, your tongue's your tongue. It tastes
salt at the back. Or
yeah. No, you taste what it is.
a taste bud's a taste bud.
Chameleons don't actually change colour to blend in with their surroundings. They change colour to communicate. A
And to
chameleon.
look different and go, hey, look at me.
A chameleon's colour is used to signal mood, aggression, territory, and mating behaviour.
Is that the
So-
same for squid?
So when a chameleon changes colour, it's basically their version of Tinder. The colour orange is named after the fruit, not the other way round. Now, that's interesting, all right?
Well, that's quite cool, actually.
Before the late 15th century, the colour orange was just lumped in with red.
It's a light red.
Yeah, it was just red.
But
And
not
then,
quite pink.
but then when the fruit orange was there, they went, it's orange. Oh,
So we've got to blame the Spanish.
just like the colour. That's where people get confused. It's like, I don't understand what you mean. It's like, what do you mean just like the colour?
Well, that makes sense. Otherwise, yellow would be called banana
Or lemon.
or lemon.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, green would be called kiwi or grass.
Or avocado.
Or avocado. They're normally browny black on the outside. And
On the
green
inside, they're green.
Armadillo.
People think penguins mate for life. They don't.
Some of them do.
They're proper whores. It said some of them stay monogamous, but a lot of them don't. I don't think we can sit there and tie.
No. They have a divorce proceeding as well.
Yeah, they have issues like everybody else.
Yeah.
Some of them are probably gay as well. We can't judge, but we can't sit there and just lump them and say, "Oh, all penguins they never leave each other." How do we fucking know? You're not a penguin.
Yeah, we can't tell them apart.
The story about NASA developing the space pen while the Russians used a pencil isn't true. NASA always used pencils.
Use pens. Oh, really? Oh, that's boring. That was a good myth.
What's this one?
That's why I like the two fingers for the where Brits swear and make two fingers rather than like the Americans where they stick the middle finger up. Unfortunately, that's a misnomer about them being from the Archers.
Oh, right.
One, because the Archers used 3 fingers to draw the bow. But secondly, the French did much worse things to the Archers when they caught them.
Bloody French.
Yeah, they killed them very, very, very slowly, and they would not just chop their fingers off and let them go.
It's never actually stated that the forbidden fruit mentioned in the Bible was an apple. Some claim it was more like a fig or a pomegranate. But they're a bit middle class fruit, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
An apple's like
Apple's normal.
Is everyone
common?
It's common fruit. An apple, isn't it? The apple was thought to be forbidden fruit because of an early pun between Latin words for evil and apple.
But then, actually, if they were all around sort of the Jerusalem area and stuff, they don't really grow many apples around there. They mainly grow figs and shit.
Yeah.
And
humans have more than 5 senses. The actual number ranges from 9 to over 20. Well, that fucks up that M. Night Shyamalan film, doesn't it? The Sixth Sense. Because they're just like, what are you talking about then?
9 to 20. So
Yeah,
some people only have 9 senses. Other people have
He goes, there's
12
sight,
senses.
there's sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. But humans can also sense a lot of other things like balance, acceleration, pain, temperature. You can't handle pain. You've got a high pain threshold.
I can sense it. It's just it takes a while.
Here's one. Napoleon weren't short. He was 5'7". He was actually taller than an average man at that time. I mean, and his nickname Le Petit Caporal was translate little corporal, which was probably a term of affection, not the fact he was small.
Or he was a corporal and he shouted a lot.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
The Earth doesn't revolve around the Sun. It's actually revolving around the solar system's centre of mass. There you go, there's a science one there for you. So they're actually saying it doesn't actually revolve around the Sun. Someone's drew a little diagram. Can't show it in the podcast, but I can show you. So it goes kind of round like a spirograph. It changes. He can't make his mind up. It's off balance.
Why does one of those lines pass through the Sun?
Because we've gone through the Sun a few times. You know when you get a bit hot?
Yeah, that's called global warming.
And you just be, a bit hot today.
Yeah.
We must be going through that cycle. We must be going through the Sun.
Oh, we're just going to get a little bit cooked.
We go through
I'll
the Sun.
survive. Way!
Not everybody in Columbus times thought the world was flat. There were some people that actually were quite educated. They knew it was around.
square.
In fact, Columbus underestimated the size of the world. He hadn't come across the West Indies. He and his shipmates would have starved to death had he come across them. Because by the time he got there, it was fucking far away, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, in boats and stuff.
Long way away.
They didn't have like bullet trains and planes back then.
Let's rely on puff
It's
power.
not true. People only use 10% of their brains. It's not true.
No, they only use 6.
Only a small number of neurons are firing at any given moment, but that doesn't mean it's the only thing happening in your brain at the time. It's true. Because that annoys me. They say, well, we only use 10% of our brains. Well, how do you fucking know? What's the other 90% doing then?
Sitting there waiting.
Just sitting there waiting. It's like, well, we can't bother to use me. Just fill it. I'll just
Screw you.
go and watch some Netflix. Vikings didn't actually have horns on their helmets.
Oh, they weren't pointing inwards.
No, apparently not. Swimming with an hour of eating doesn't actually lead to cramps or drowning. I always got told that. You should always wait half an hour, after eating before going to swim because you get a cramp. I have no idea where that's come from, and neither do they know.
You sink.
It doesn't take 7 years to digest gum. Oh.
No, it's because you shit
It
it out
says
within 24 hours.
You actually don't digest it at all. It just goes straight through your system.
Yeah.
Which I'm so glad I read that, Because I was panicking. I keep having like, heart palpitations every now and again. I'm like, oh, it's all that gum. It's all that gum stuck around my heart.
Anything that is non-digestible
Just goes straight through.
Straight through. Hence, you've got that most expensive coffee in the world. Is it monkeys or cats or something? They feed coffee beans to monkeys and they shit them out, and then people roast them and brew them, and
they do,
it's
don't
the
they?
most expensive coffee in the world because it's gone through a particular monkey's digestive system. It's not been stuck in there for 7 years. It's in and out within 24
human
hours.
species are fucking stupid, aren't we, sometimes?
Dumb as
It's because we only use 10% of our brains.
Yeah.
Humans didn't evolve from apes. We share common ancestry.
Apes evolved from us.
Oh, that's controversial. That's controversial. Mussolini didn't actually make the trains run on time.
Mussolini.
Mussolini.
Mussolini. He was a moose.
I added an O. That's all right. George Washington didn't have wooden teeth. He had dentures made out of gold, ivory, and lead. Animal teeth and teeth from his own
Lead.
Oh, this one's bad. He had dentures made out of gold, ivory, and lead. Animal teeth and teeth from his own slaves. Wow.
I'm just impressed that they used lead in his mouth as teeth. One, it's really soft metal.
Yeah.
And two, it's fucking poisonous. No wonder he went mad.
Redheads are not going extinct. Neither are blondes. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know people believe that.
An endangered species is the redhead.
They said that if everybody who carries a redhead or blonde gene dies or fails to reproduce, then their hair colours will disappear. That would probably never happen, they said.
Not unless you round them up and you've got ethnic cleansing of the redheads and the blondes.
This is one I always thought was true. There wasn't actually widespread panic after Orson Welles' 1938 radio broadcast of The War of the Worlds. I heard about that. They all said that when War of the Worlds came out as a radio play, that he read it out and they thought it was real.
People thought it was real.
Apparently not. It's not many people heard it. Aside from some isolated incidents, there was no panic at all. Which makes sense, because not everybody in 1938 would have been sitting there listening to it at the right time.
No, not everybody would have even had a wireless.
So they kind of think there's probably a few idiots that are like, oh my God, is this true? But who are they going to tell? They can't go online and tweet it. Fuck! What's happening? They can't ring up people because like 1938, not everyone had phones and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like they could really like get into it. So yeah, you probably had a few people that were like panicking at home, and then went outside and went. Oh,
they joined it halfway through or quarter of the way through after they'd missed the bit they're saying, now we're doing a radio play.
Now here's one. Blinds are not blinds are not bats.
Blinds are not bats.
Bats are not blind. Let's start that again. Bats are not blind.
No, they're just really shit at seeing.
No, this is all bat species. In fact, some species of bats have brilliant night vision. Just some of them can't see very well. So we lumber them all in a corner and say, all you bats are blind. And then some of them going, actually, I can see quite well, thank you very much. But they can't talk, so we never know. House flies live longer than 24 hours. Yes, I fucking know that. Because they're fucking everywhere.
Yeah, and they buzz around for a hell of a long time.
If they live 24 hours, I wouldn't give a shit. They live for about 20 to 30 days. Fucking thing.
Yeah, you see them buzzing about. And it's always the same fucker that lands on your leg while you're watching something.
Here's one. Why do your fingers wrinkle when you're in the water, when you're in the bath? Why do they wrinkle?
Osmosis.
People said it's because the skin's absorbing the water. It happens because the automatic nerve... Autonomic? I can't even read it. Autonomic? That word there. Autonomic. Autonomic nervous system is thought to be evolved because it gave ancestors better grip in the wet environments. I know that. I got told that. You used to think that he was absorbing the water. Like, oh, I'm getting all shrivelly. No,
I gone pretty.
It's like a defence mechanism on your nervous system. It's so you could grip things better.
Okay.
Because we're not supposed to be in the fucking water.
No, that's why we prunify.
That's why we prove it, because it's our body's way of saying, you're in water.
Yeah. Shit, you
Quick,
need to get out.
Save yourself.
Get
Yourself. We can help you grip. But then you realise, I'm in the bath, mate. Tell your brain that. It's only 10% listening. Do one more. Sunflowers don't track the sun across the sky. They always face east.
As they just want the morning sun.
Always in the east. Always looking in the east. There you go. So there's some things.
How about some other ones?
Have you got some? You got some that wasn't written down?
I've got some that aren't there that are rattling around in my head.
Go on then.
Like, sort of margarine, there's flora and all the
Can't believe it's
the,
not
the
butter.
speds and all that
that.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're 98% the same as the plastic pot that they come in. They're only one molecule away.
One molecule. I
Yeah,
don't like to think of my butter as molecules.
So you get people think that it's exactly the same, or pretty much the same thing as if you eat the margarine inside it, or if you eat the pot. But it's not. It's different
Right.
because of the structure.
Oh, there you go.
Same with carbon. Carbon and diamonds. Good example
Yeah.
to make the difference. Diamonds are carbon. They're
Mm.
just structured in a different way so that the light goes through it. So they're squished, which is why you can make industrial diamonds out of coal and shitloads of pressure. But they're black.
That's why people say that little thing like you could put a bit of coal up your arse. You're so tight, you put a bit of coal up your arse, a diamond will fall out.
Yeah. Because you can squash the diamond, but it would come out black.
Oh, right.
'Cause it's covered in shit.
And on that note, we'll leave it there. Thanks for listening, everybody. You've listened to the Not Listening podcast. You can give us a tweet at Barker Podcast or at Not Listening Pod, or you can go to the website notlistening.co.uk. Check out Not Sensical Podcast, the other podcast I do, goes on the radio every Thursday. CCR 104.4 FM with me and Gary Grubb. Not Sensical, that's what it's called. Check that out. You can also check out Not Watching and Not Playing, Rob Howard's podcast, which Will sometimes goes on. He abandons us and goes on the Not Playing podcast.
Yeah, we can
he
do
likes
that.
to talk about fucking video games and act like he's like, oh, I'm all home mighty, I know all about video games. Don't you? He's left us, mate. We're not better. He'll be back. I've been Adam, you've been
Ash!
See you later, everyone, bye.
And I'm invincible!
He is a fucking Wolverine over there. Just a shit version.
Arsehole.